Okay, Daryl, this is Full Disclosure Friday for this Friday, as in 2 days from now. So it is for the 9th. Here we go. It's the whole thing. You're listening to Destination University and our special Friday series, Full Disclosure Fridays. If you've ever watched The Breakfast Club, Bad Teacher, Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or Election, and thought, yep, that was my high school. Or worse, that you are at that type of high school right now. Yikes. Sit tight. This episode is for you. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Cynthia Colon, TEDx speaker, college admission strategist, and author of the book, Be Committed, Get Admitted. You can listen every Wednesday and Thursday where I interview parents and educators, or just myself, giving our motivated parents and rockstar students hot tips on accessing top 100 or whatever your dream college is. However, it's season 9, and for crying out loud, when I saw that my full disclosure newsletters had a higher open rate than the highly valuable college tips that I give, I decided, what the heck? Why don't I just let loose and go on air? So, Full Disclosure Fridays is about one thing: be honest. My plan was to share my own journey of becoming an edupreneur, but today I'm sharing what I saw for myself when I recruited for Vassar College. I'm from a public high school. I was the quintessential rah-rah gal, cheerleader, student body president, dating the triple athlete who was the ASB vice president. Yep, I was that girl. So I loved high school, like is an understatement. I never had a bad thing to say about it. However, when I think back to all the teachers and administrators who knew me, I was literally in the principal's office every day doing the morning announcements. So, LOL, it's no wonder I like the microphone still. Okay, so, but nobody, and I mean nobody, talked to me about college. My BFF was the smarter one with all the APs and honors classes. Me, I was cruising with some honors classes, but I was still the top 20 in my class. So why didn't anyone encourage me? I don't know. No clue. But I didn't notice because I was on my path, and my mother figured it out and sought help that she knew that I needed. So problem averted. But that is not the case for everyone. Today, I'm going to tell you how it is. Like, that's how I roll. So let me break it down. Today, I will share, 1, how an admission officer at Vassar, how I chose high schools, how I visited high schools every single fall. Number 2, what happened at each of those visits, meaning public versus private school visits. Number 3, how my experience influenced what I did at Marymount High School. 4, a success story at Lynwood Unified, how they implemented exactly what I recommended. And boom, the students from Lynwood Unified received wait for it, over 70 acceptance letters from 3 colleges in 6 days. Yep. Are you ready? Let's do it. Okay. So number 1, how as an admission officer at Vassar, how do I choose the high schools that I visit each fall? So, oh man, I'm going way back, but this is when we had to use MapQuest. Anybody? To map out the visits, and then I would print out the directions from school to school, and then plan the timing of how and when I was going to get there. So I could fit in about 4 high schools per day. So that is like my trip to LA and SoCal was 5 days. San Francisco and NoCal, 5 days. Miami, maybe 2 or 3 days if I included Tampa. San Antonio, El Paso, same, like 3 days, maybe 4 on the days that I travel to Brownsville or that city that Selena is from. Corpus Christi, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. What we tended to look for was the number of apps that we received in history. So for example, in El Paso, there was Isleta High School. And they regularly sent several applications. So I went to visit and I was building a relationship. I was guaranteed to have an audience where we were looking to actually yield a student. We get apps, let's say we get applications from that school, we admit, but then students from that school don't enroll. So like we are choice number 2 or number 3. So if we're looking for that kid who we can win over, not for the one, but not for that one, but also rather more for like those that would follow. Okay. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say, okay, so for Isleta High School in El Paso, I got kids applications from there all the time. So the why behind visiting was because we wanted to continue building that relationship and continue growing the number of applications that we would receive from year to year. A different high school, maybe same, also in El Paso, that I can see we're getting applications from, or actually probably San Antonio is a better idea, better example. I think there was like St. Mary's Academy, I want to say. So we would get applications, we would admit students each year from that high school, but we were having a hard time actually getting someone to actually come and say yes and come to Vassar. So that reasoning behind going to visit that school was to continue to sort of mine and sort of dig for that one kid, that, you know, digging for gold, you're mining for gold. And once you know that you can get one kid, then sometimes then another kid comes and another, and then you develop this sort of relationship. Okay. So those are the sort of who we might visit, the types of high schools we might visit, and the reasons why we might visit them. Okay. Now, of course, sort of like location and ease of navigating from one school to another was a consideration as well. I want to add anything that I wanted to add to my visit. I could, but it was at the expense of another school. So when let's say, okay, so unless I wanted to add like a 5th school to my day, like the days were long when you did visits. So if I wanted to add a school to my list of visits, so I'll give you an example. One of the years I wanted to visit my own high school, Bellflower High School. So that would either mean me foregoing one of the schools that should be on my list or is supposed to be on my list and adding Bellflower High School, or adding a 5th high school to my day that was already long, but adding that 5th high school. So and then you only have 9 to 8 to 3 that you can squeeze them in. So I did have agency to add schools to, for my visits, but it was a delicate balance. So it wasn't always easy, and it was, you can't just say, oh yeah, I'm going to go to visit all these public schools that I don't normally visit, because you really have to have a strong reason why you're justifying that cost for the institution. So plain and simple. All right, so let's get back to this little notes that I typed up here. All right. Let's talk about what happened at each of those visits, meaning public versus private, okay? So where shall I begin? Do you want the good, the bad, or the ugly first? Okay. So best case scenario, you're greeted by 1 to 3 people when you arrive, meaning when I arrive visiting from Vassar. And then people know that I'm coming. There's a parking spot, that's reserved for the guests. And the front office knows to call the counselor and or walks you to a room where there are already students waiting. to continue, I would offer them that presentation to those students, take questions. I would get student contact information, and a bonus was if the school had a goodie bag. Okay, so let me pause here for a second. What is a goodie bag? So I didn't realize this in my first visits, but every so often I'd go to this, it was always a private school, elite, private, independent school. And when I would arrive, they would take me and walk me, and the guard knew that I was coming in the parking spot, the whole thing. And then I'd come in and they take me to the room where the students were there waiting for me. And there was a little goodie bag that had, and a bottle of water. But the goodie bag had like little treats, like it could be little cookies, little candies, little mints. And it was basically very thoughtful, because they know that I'm on the road going from school to school. I'm not at home, right? I'm traveling. I'm speaking all day, every day. So the mints were, I always thought the mints were a great thing. And you don't always have time to stop for lunch when you're going from school to school. So the goodie bag was like a great bonus. Seems frivolous, but it was not. It was very thoughtful. Bonus number 2 would be to have 10 to 20 minutes with the counselor, one-on-one. Why is this important? They want to sell their school, their high school, and their students, right? And we want the same in return. So what do I mean by that? If I could meet with a group of students who were interested in Vassar, that's great, but they are probably currently seniors and or maybe some juniors. But to have a one-on-one with that counselor means that I can talk to her, usually her or him, about, sort of the new things that are going on at Vassar, or things that we're doing. Oh, we're building the athletic facilities, we're looking for, new athletes, or, that's, an area that we're looking to fill in the coming years. Now, the counselor might say, oh, talk about honors and programs that they offer. They might even say, we cap our APs for our students. Not everybody can take, 5 APs every year. I hope not. So it was their opportunity to share with me some tidbits about the high school and what I should know and be aware of, because I was the one who was going to read the applications from that high school. So it is extremely powerful, the potential of just like building a relationship with the person who's actually going to be reading the students from your high school. So, okay. All right, here we go. Continue. A bad scenario would be that maybe you're greeted and people are kind and everyone's on their game, but no students show up for the visit. So it's not terrible if the counselor sees this as an opportunity to learn about us and sell the high school, like I just explained, right? So maybe nobody shows up, but this counselor says, I'll spend, 20 minutes with you. So because the chances of me coming back are slim. Like if this is what happens, I get here and no students show up, my time is too precious. So unless the counselor decides to sort of take the opportunity and build this relationship, chances are I'm not going to put it on my schedule the next time I'm in town. Okay. All right. So that's the good, the bad. Okay. Let's talk about the ugly. The ugly scenario would be nobody knows who you are, why you're there, can't find the counselor that you say you have an appointment with, or I'm going to pause here. For me, the worst case scenario was when I was in a meeting with a room full of underqualified students. The counselor didn't do their job and or has no idea how competitive Vassar is. Either way, it was super disappointing. It was discouraging. And why would any college return for either of those two last examples? Okay. I still remember it was one of the schools up north at public school. There were 5 kids. None of them were qualified. So anyway, I did give them some college counseling, but it was disappointing nonetheless. I didn't return. All right. So let's see. Let's talk about number 3. How did my experience influence what I did at Marymount High School? Love to tell you the story about Dorothy Richards. Dorothy Richards, God rest her soul, she got it. She was from New York City, or at least worked there when she was younger. And she was like the kind of secretary, probably like Mad Men, that kind of secretary. She was trained on customer service, greeting with a smile, and interest, like it had interest in our guests of honor, our visitors. We got the goodie bags. And then when guests arrived, this is my favorite part, Dorothy took them into the blue conference room and she would ask for their coffee order, and then she would write it down. For the next time when they came to visit, she already knew how they took their coffee and then would bring it to them. That was a hot tip from her New York days. I mean, Dorothy Richards, when I worked with her, she was already, a much older woman. So, but she understood what it meant to really cater to our guests and make them feel like they were $1 million so they would come back again. All right, there you have it. Last point here, I think it's number 4. Here is a success story of Lynwood Unified, a public school district, you guys. They implemented exactly what I recommended, and boom, the students from Lynwood Unified received over 70 acceptance letters from 3 colleges in 6 days. Yeah, it is possible. This is not hard. So why the heck am I telling you all of this and these stories? I'm telling you because public schools get a bad rap. And honestly, it's for good reason, right? Bad teacher, election, Breakfast Club, all those movies I started by saying, Ferris, Bueller's Day Off, hello. Yes, they're under-resourced, they're understaffed, etc. However, if the goal is to help students achieve their dreams, it doesn't cost anything to go out of your way and personally recruit 2 to 3 kiddos that could be a good match for a college that you know is coming weeks down the line. Also, it doesn't cost anything to sit with a visitor and learn about another option for students that you had no idea about. At the end of the day, schools and colleges are in the people business. This is a relationship. You have to be in it for the long haul. This year, I am so proud of Lynwood Unified School District. We set out to increase the number of colleges students are exposed to, apply to, and admitted to outside of the Cal States and UCs. Whittier College, UNLV, University of Nevada at Las Vegas, and the University of Redlands agreed to come to campus, read, interview, and possibly offer on-the-spot admissions to qualified applicants. It took effort and coordination. Students needed a transcript, they needed a sample of their writing, and they needed to prepare for a short interview. I don't know about you, but when I was 17, I would have been terrified. I'm sure of it. But they did it. And because they were ready with the essays from Essay Camp, and the district was committed to making this easy on the colleges with access to transcripts, boom. It's a win-win for everybody. They had a celebratory environment with photos at the end. I mean, like, it was great. This is what I mean. Private school service does not have to come at a private school price. When you are in it to win it, you will figure it out. So to all the public schools educators that are out there, get gritty, get resourceful, and get scrappy. Yeah, I know, right? I'm telling you, I'm like beyond excited for them. Beyond. Okay, right? So good. I know. So here's what I'm going to sort of hopefully give you some inspiration. Here is the truth. Every public school has the power to offer private school service. A well-informed counselor is able to look at a student profile and point them in the right direction of the schools they will get accepted to. That's a good counselor. For us, next year, with over 50% of the students being eligible for a four-year university, there is no reason that we can't have 60% of them apply to at least one college by October and the full 100% by November. That's the goal, 2024. With Lynwood, we begin working with sophomores and juniors in the spring, like coming up now, with our Dream College Academy course. And listen, I know I talk a lot about our crazy unicorn public and Catholic school kiddos who are admitted to top 25 colleges. But honestly, there is nothing better than seeing that huge grin when a student gets their first win of the season. I mean, look at those faces. So Dream College Academy, DCA, is designed to give motivated students a personalized map to their dream college, whatever that dream is for them. There are not enough hours in the day for counselors to meet individually with every student. So this program is designed to supplement each student's college application journey, each of the students' college admission journey. DCA, we offer a self-study online course so that students can go at their own pace, or you can join as a VIP member to attend any of our live workshops, including joining us at Lynwood if you should want to, okay? We offer live workshops throughout the year as well. The Lynwood DCA students also have the option of funneling right into our College Essay Bootcamp that Lynwood provides, right? These are not costs that the students at Lynwood incur. They do write their essays in 5 days, and that is how they are ready and able to apply to college by September and October, like they did this year. So, okay, boom, boom, and boom. Dream College Academy will be open to the public very soon. Anyone can join. The doors are going to be open in March. So you want to get your personal invitation to DCA. You want to go to my website, download a free copy of my book. And that's really the best thing to do because when you download the free PDF, the copy of my book in English or Spanish, you'll be sure that you're getting it on our list and you'll be sure to get an invitation to join DCA. All right. That is all I have for you, my friends. Thank you for tuning in to Destination University. I'm Dr. Cynthia Colon, your happy success expert. If this episode has in any way helped, fueled, or inspired you, please share this episode with 3 people in the next 30 minutes. You can subscribe to Destination University wherever you get your podcast. And while you're there, leave us a review. It sure does help a lot. You are helping to grow the community of informed families across the nation. And hello, if you have not binge listened to our previous seasons, I would say do it. If you know an 8th grader or a high school student, dive in and take every piece of advice possible. Start with episode 1, where I interview my mom. You are going to love her. I'll be sure to see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, wherever you are, may you have a happy and sunny day. Bye for now.